What's up, guys? D-Rock1992 here. For this next video, for this promised next video, I just did the review for Kick-Ass, the first Kick-Ass film. This review is going to be on the sequel to Kick-Ass, Kick-Ass 2, which came out in 2013. So this is definitely the sequel, and in this one, you see Chris D'Amico become the major villain in this film because something bad happens to his father. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. You know, you have to watch the first film to kind of get it. Kind of ties into the second film. So, Chris D'Amico doesn't go by Red Mist anymore. Excuse my swearing here. He goes by the Motherfucker. And he basically wants to swear revenge on Kick-Ass. He wants Kick-Ass's blood for what he did to his father. I guess I can kind of spoil it. I mean, if you haven't seen it, this is a spoiler. So, the spoiler is that Chris D'Amico's father does die at the hands of Kick-Ass. So Chris D'Amico has to swear revenge on Kick-Ass. Meanwhile, you have a hit girl trying to get revenge for Big Daddy's death. Big Daddy in the first film was played by Nicolas Cage. He dies, another spoiler. I can't really talk about this stuff without kind of giving a little bit away from the first film. So, if you didn't watch the first film, I wouldn't go first with the second film. I wouldn't watch this one first. I wouldn't watch this review first. I would watch the first one first because I watch the first one and then I watch the second one. You know what I mean, though, I think. So, anyway, Hit Girl wants to get revenge, but there's a bit of a conflict. Her guardian, his name is Marcus, played by a character who did play the same person in Kick-Ass. I didn't describe his character, because he wasn't a really big character. Morris Chestnut plays Mindy's guardian, Marcus. He wants her to stop fighting crime, and Hit Girl's torn. She wants to do it, but she also has to keep the promise to Marcus, and she also is trying to get used to the high school life too, the high school drama and things like that. So she has to kind of get into that. She enters freshman year in this movie, I believe. And then, meanwhile, Kick-Ass continues his awesome crime-fighting skills, and he joins up with a group of people. You have, let's see, a couple new characters in the film that I'm going to talk about. Donald Faison, if I'm saying the name right, Donald Faison. You might know him if you ever did see the film Clueless. You might know him from that, and you might actually know him from the TV show Scrubs. He was on that show for a long time. He plays a guy named Dr. Gravity. Clark Duke plays Marty Eisenberg / Battle Guy. He was in the first film. I didn't really describe him because he plays more of a role in Kick-Ass 2. Clark Duke, you may know him from 2.5 Men. He played a recurring role on 2.5 Men towards the end of its run on CBS. So, you have Aaron Taylor Johnson, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, and Chloe Grace Moretz. They all reprise their roles from the first film, as well as Morris Chestnut. Now, the other big guy who's in this film is Jim Carrey. He plays Colonel Stars and Stripes / Sal Bertolini. He kind of organizes an entire force with Kick-Ass in the Force, and they go out and they fight crime together. And now they all have to try to defeat Chris D'Amico / motherfucker. It definitely, the stakes are higher because there's vengeance to be had in this film. There really is. So that's pretty much what the plot is, pretty much. And those are pretty much the major characters. There's a couple others as well. I mean, there's Mother Russia in this film, who's a bad guy. Olga Kurkulina plays that woman. And there's a few other ones as well, but those are pretty much the major people. So yeah, this, in terms of characters, I mean, Aaron Taylor Johnson does a really good job again in this film as the lead character. Christopher Mintz-Plasse improves from Kick-Ass, in my opinion. He does improve the character. So does Chloe Grace Moretz. She's the breakout star of Kick-Ass 2. Well, I liked her in Kick-Ass. She was great, and she was good in Kick-Ass. She was great in Kick-Ass 2. It was enjoyable to see her as a character, evolve from that first film. Morris Chestnut, for what he played it pretty effectively. Donald Faison, he kind of plays the same character in everything he does. I mean, at least from what I know. He plays on this, he's a lead character on this TV Land show called The X's. He kind of plays the same character on that show as he does in this movie. So you kind of get the same thing, but it's a good character. He's a good actor, definitely. Also an actor that's in this movie as well is John Leguizamo, which I didn't realize he was in the film, but he is in the film. I don't really have a lot to say about him because I didn't really realize it. Jim Carrey is Jim Carrey. I mean, it's a little bit different from his goofier type of roles like Dumb and Dumber, and all those types of roles. It is a little bit different, but it's still Jim Carrey. He was a delight to watch in the movie. He really was. And those are pretty much the ones I'm going to be talking about here. The sequel did not do as well as the original. It definitely didn't. Critically, 29% approval rating. So it definitely did not get to the heights that Kick-Ass 1 got to. And it made less money. It did. But, I'll get to that after. But anyway, there's something I did want to share. Jim Carrey actually withdrew his support from the film because around the time the movie came out, the whole Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, that entire shooting, an unfortunate shooting, school shooting, that happened around that time. Actually, it was several months before Kick-Ass 2 came out in theaters. So I'm going to share with you what he actually said about it. He withdrew his support for the film. I did Kick-Ass a month before Sandy Hook, and now in all good conscience, I cannot support that level of violence. My apologies to others involved with the film. I am not ashamed of it, but recent events have caused a change in my heart. The recent events being the Sandy Hook shooting. You can definitely understand you can definitely understand his point of view, but what that movie is, I mean, nobody had any way of knowing, obviously, that shooting was going to occur. So, I mean, don't make comments like that when you know your movie is absolutely violent. I mean, I understand the comments and all that from him, but you don't need the comments because I mean, this movie is exactly what it is. It's a violent film. It really is. And it's not for everybody, obviously. So, I mean, he's got his opinion, obviously, on the violence and all that. He's got his rightful opinion on that. But for other people, this doesn't have anything to do with Sandy Hook. This movie had nothing to do with Sandy Hook. You didn't, in this movie, and this is kind of a spoiler, you don't see a school shooting in Kick-Ass 2, people. You don't see that. So, there you go. I mean, there's a lot of different opinions you can have about this. This video is not about my opinion of the Sandy Hook shooting or my opinion of Carrey. I just wanted to share that with you because a major star, of the film withdrew his support. That's all I'm going to say about it, though. Now, what I think about the movie, it may have gotten lower than Kick-Ass in terms of critic rating and box office total, but I actually do think this movie was better than the first. I really do. I think the stakes were higher in this film. There was more violence in it than the first one. More of that violence was brought into play. Actually, Matthew Vaughn did not come back to direct this film. It was directed by a guy named Jeff Wadlow. For other films that he's done, he really, let's see here. He really hasn't been known for other films in particular. But he's just known for that one pretty much. But yeah, I thought there was more violence involved. They upped the stakes in this one. There's vengeance to be had, like I said. They're upping the stakes. They're upping the violence. They're upping the action. I think it's a more enjoyable film than the first one. And I'm of the opinion I really actually like a lot of sequels. I think a lot of sequels, whether they be comedy or action or any type of genre, I think sequels, in general, most of the time are better than the original. I actually do. Whereas a lot of people probably think that the first is better than the preceding films after that. So, and I think a lot of people like the first one better than they did the second one. I'm the opposite way. I like the second one better than the first one. And not to say the first one was horrible. I mean, I gave the first one 5 out of 5 stars. I'm giving the second one here 5 out of 5 stars as well. I think the second one is just slightly bit better than the first one. I gave the first one 5 out of 5 because I couldn't find any issues with the film at all. And I can't find any issues with the second film at all. So they both get a 5 out of 5 stars for me. They're both enjoyable films, especially Kick-Ass 2. Jim Carrey does a good job in this film, coming in as a new character. The lead characters that I mentioned, the characters that came back for Kick-Ass 2, they all did very well yet again. So, that is the last Kick-Ass film that has come out. Now, there have been rumors of a Kick-Ass 3. I would love a Kick-Ass 3. I really would love it. There's been rumors about it, but so far nothing major. There have also been rumors of a Hit Girl spin-off. I would be down with any of those choices. Kick-Ass 3 and Hit Girl standalone film. They would be. I would line up to go see them. I would totally line up to go see them. They're such good ideas, definitely to have, and I'd be open to it. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about That's it for Kick-Ass 2 and my review of Kick-Ass 2. D-Rock 1992 out.